What's up, guys? Welcome back to Little Red Garage. Originally today I wanted to work on putting the exhaust together. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting on a few pieces. So I've been out here doing some odds and ends. I spent a lot of time today lining the fenders, trying to get the gaps real nice and aligned correctly. They're coming out pretty good because I want to put the cowl on. So there's some bolts back here. So I'm trying to get those best I can. Starting to look a lot better. So before we can put the cowl on, we got to deal with these wiper linkages and bushings. So I figured I'd bring you guys along for that, show you how I'm going to do that. So we'll get right into it. Enjoy the video. Okay, so wiper linkage bushings. There's one of the bushings right here. These things can be a real pain. Actually, I've already done this once. I had all this out. I put the new bushings on. I used some vice grips and channel locks, and I tore up a couple of the bushings. One didn't stay on, so I picked up some new bushings. These were supposed to be Mopar. NOS Mopar, but they look exactly the same as the other ones, like just the cheap Dorman. So I'm not sure if these are the real thing or not, but we got a couple sets. These things are cheap. I think they're just a couple bucks a piece, but I have heard you can order them through the dealer NOS, so that might be something you want to look into. But really the best way to do that is to get all this out of here. There's not enough room. One of the linkage pivot points is back underneath here. There's no fun trying to get your hands in there, and you're not going to get the pressure that you need. So I kind of thought of a better way to do this, and then actually seen somebody do it, and it looked a lot better, a lot easier to do. So most of you probably will have the wiper arms and the cowl on the truck, so obviously that's going to be your first step, is removing the wiper arms and the cowl to get it to the point that we're at now. But they make a special tool to remove the wiper arms. It's actually pretty cheap and it works very well. You can see there's this little tab here that needs to be pulled down as you're pulling up on the wiper arm itself, and it's a little tricky to do, and trying to do it with a screwdriver, you're actually going to be prying on the cowl. So if you care about your paint at all, it's a pretty cool little tool. It kind of goes off around the edge here and it pries on the wiper arm itself and grabs that so that you can pull it off. I'll put a link up to that tool. It'll help you a lot taking these arms off. What I want to do is actuate the wiper motor to make sure that it's at its resting stop. So I'm going to get inside the truck and do that. Alright, with the ignition on, I'm just going to turn the wipers on and off. So we know that now at its resting stop place when it would be off, when the wipers would be down. Alright, so the next step is I'm going to take this 3/8 nut off. Okay, so it doesn't have a locating pin, but it is rectangle, so it can actually go on two different ways. So you see I made a little mark here. This is going to reference me that this is the front, and I just have to remember that it points towards the driver's side. Grab this thing while I'm under here. And unfortunately, all these pieces were just laying in here, so it was a little tricky to figure out how it goes back together. But if yours are laying in the right spot, try to reference somehow, maybe mark them the way they go. What I'm going to do is set them up on the bench here, kind of in the orientation they would be in the truck, to kind of help figure this all out when we get it out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the nuts off these pivots, and then you should be able to take the whole assembly out. Alright, so now we're going to try to get this, snake this whole assembly out. It should, I think last time I came out through this hole, I remember I kind of lengthened it. Let's see if we can get down here. And I took this one down here that's kind of at an angle, and I straightened it out. And then I was able to, come out through here. And kind of remember that when you're going back in. You can see how this, so inside there, this sits up like that. So that's all I did, was I straightened it out, made a straight line out of it to get it to come out. Okay, now that we have everything out on the bench, you can see that this bushing was pretty chewed up, and so is this one. So they are actually holding on there, but I'm actually going to go ahead and take all this apart and start fresh with new bushings. And I used some kind of grease last time, axle grease or something, so I picked up some white lithium grease. So we're going to use that. We're going to use a 3/4 inch socket and a 1/4 inch extension, or I found that this fits pretty well. Okay, so those are actually on there pretty good. What I ended up doing was I took a razor blade and very carefully started to slice it so that when I was prying it gave a little bit of relief, and they popped off. I cleaned up my ball ends real nice, and the next step is going to be installing the new bushings. First into the holes, and then we're going to press them onto the nipples there. So what I seen was a 1/4 inch extension, or this is actually a 1/4 inch bit. Fits real nice inside here, and what we're going to do is put it into the vise, and we're gonna, this is a 3/4 inch socket on one side, this on one side, and we're going to squeeze it together in the vise. So we want to make sure that this clears that. I found a 3/4 inch, seems like it'll work nice. So we're going to get these lubed up and set up on the vise. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is just squeeze this together in the vise and use this as a spacer to catch it. little white lithium grease. That seemed to work really well. And it's very important to remember the orientation of this, because one goes up and the other one goes down on the pivot. So this one's up, this one's down, and we'll get a better look at that when it's up on the table. And originally I was going to use the extension to push through the center, but I was afraid it was going to push right through, so I wanted to try this first, and it seems like this works pretty good. On there nice, I didn't get all chewed up. So this one's ready to get put on. We got a few more of these to do though. So we're on to the longer rod now. These are both the same. The shorter rod, they go opposite, so you want to pay close attention to that. Okay, so all our bushings are in the one side. Now we're going to try to press all of our studs, ball studs in there. Fill this cavity right up with grease. There it goes. Didn't quite have it all the way seated before. There it is. Feels nice and tight. I was getting a lot of play out of my other ones. This one feels nice and tight, but still rotates freely. Let's see if we can get this side pressed in. little tricky by yourself. Be nice to have another set of hands. Ooh, okay. That feels really good. All right, the last step, well, not the last step, but next step is to get the shorter arm on. Okay, first I'm going to, well, it's easier to manage a smaller piece here. I'm going to press the smaller linkage onto the wiper piece here. Okay, and the last one, this one might be a little tricky because we got this all together now, but this is the last one. Let's see, let's do this here. Give that another little squeeze. But feels really nice. Nice and tight this way, but nice and smooth like that. And it looks like it's ready to go back in the truck. You could see what I was talking about before. This smaller arm, the bushings, one goes down, one goes up. So you want to make sure you orientate that right. I think I remember doing that wrong the first time, and that's probably why these got so messed up, because I put them on, took them off, put them on, and I was doing it with vice grips and channel locks. This was definitely the way to go. It takes quite a bit of pressure to squeeze these things together. Definitely not something you want to do with your hands all up inside the cowl there. So I'll set you up on the tripod on the engine, and we'll try to snake this all back in as one unit. Alright, before we go slide into the truck, I'm going to show you how I kind of orientate this to make it go in easier. So right now, this is exactly how it's going to be into the truck, how it's going to bolt up to everything. So what I do is I'm going to try to make this as streamlined as possible. So it's one nice straight line, and that's how I'm going to get it back into the cowl. Alright, one side in, just got the bolts started. Now we gotta orientate this back up. The next step is going to be getting this back on. There it goes. I'm going to grab the nut for this. I'm going to tighten everything up, and then we will test it before we put the cowl and wipers on. Alright, so we're going to turn the wiper motor on, make sure that everything rotates correctly and stays together. Let's do that right now. Ignition's on. Alright. That looks pretty good. That definitely went way better than the first time I did it. By the time that I got all this fished back in here and tried to get it all adjusted, they were falling apart. These felt much tighter. Like I said, tighter this way, but plenty of rotational. The rotation was smooth. And it actually functions. That's good. So I'm gonna go grab the cowl and wiper arms, and I'll show you what I got for wiper blades, which is for these classic trucks, not something you can just go buy at the store pretty much anymore. So I'll show you what I found. Okay, the cowl panel is installed. Looks really, really nice. I actually stripped this completely to bare metal. Fixed, I think there was one little ding in it. I fixed, primed, painted it. So this thing is looking fresh. And again, the exterior screw kit that I got from Ant Motorsports coming in clutch. Nice, all brand new screws. So this is the exterior screw kit. And I thought they had a website, but Ant Motorsports is an eBay store. They used to sell an interior screw kit. I didn't see that listed anymore, but they do still have this for sale, and I think it's like 20 bucks. It's a really good deal. I mainly bought it so I had the correct mirror screws and the cargo light screws, which are tough to find. and it ended up coming with grill screws, parking light screws, marker lights, and the cowl. Really good thing to have. It's coming very handy so far. So next up, I'm going to be installing the wiper arms and wiper blades, and I'll show you what I got with that. Alright, the last step to this little project here is going to be installing the wiper arms. So I'm going to show you what I got here for wiper blades. So these are actually a metal, they're supposed to be like a brushed stainless. This is what came on the truck. They got kind of, I don't know if somebody tried to paint them black or what, but they're definitely seen better days. They're all dry rotted, a little rusty there. So they're supposed to have like a brushed stainless blade. You can't really find them anymore. This is what I end up finding. This is the brand and the part number 34018S. It is a stainless steel wiper, an 18-inch, which will be the same for both sides. Now, these wipers came polished, which, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, this truck is black and chrome. There's a lot of chrome on this truck, but for some reason I didn't like it. These wiper arms have like a brushed stainless finish. So I'm going to show you quick how I turned that into this guy here. Give it a little bit of brushed finish. Real easy to do. Alright, we're gonna pop this wiper off real quick. And it's literally as easy as that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a scuff pad. You could do it dry. Sometimes I use a little glass cleaner, and I'm literally just going to scuff everything kind of in one direction. You obviously don't want to do circles, and you don't want to go back and forth and side to side. I'm going to try to go in one direction as best as possible, and I'm going to get this all scuffed up and give this stainless a brushed look. There we go. Wiper arms are installed. Look nice and original. Let's give it one last final test here. Make sure they work. I'm calling that a win. That's where I'm going to end this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't done that. And until next time, take it easy.